Okay, hello, here we are. Right. We're live. We have the tweet here. Just came out here. Sorry, it's gonna read this right here. So we can actually see the areas that are under attack or what appear to be under attack. This isn't exactly confirmed just as yet, but this is what we know of as yet, and we're gonna get it going here in just a second. Just gonna get this thing going. Hey, 86, welcome in, welcome in. We are receiving news here from Oin's Defender. Here you have it. Here you have it. This is the latest news here. Several regions of western Ukraine are reportedly under attack from Russian one-way suicide drone or shaded kamikaze drones or something like that. Launched from the Moldovan breakaway region in Transnistria. So this region right here, so that's the reason why these areas, and they're actually still lit up, and you can actually, that's real that's real right there. So that's, I mean, this is not, but the Moldovan, is important to point out that Moldova is supposed to have a conference about a meeting in 2 days. For me, it's almost tomorrow. For me, it's tomorrow almost. They're gonna have a meeting, and they might ask to join Russia or ask Russia to annex them, which is pretty surreal there, Bryson. Welcome in here. So this is what we're getting here. This is what we're getting. So there are reports of attacks from this Moldovan exclave. That's a communist exclave from the Moldovan breakaway region. It's called Transnistria, and it apparently has launched one-way suicide drones attacks on Ukraine. It is important to note that yesterday they pointed out that that Moldova and Ukraine were planning on holding terrorist attacks inside of Transnistria. So yeah. So drones are flying through Moldova today. Russia used Moldovan airspace to route its USVs. So it's unsure, and that's also one thing here as well as I want to mention. As I was saying, it isn't confirmed exactly yet. So they're saying that drones flew through Moldova. So one thing that they're saying is that the Russians are launching their drones and flying it through Transnistria. So this, and you might think, oh, so it's nothing, right? But it still is something, because that means that Transnistria is actively allowing Russia to use their airspace to launch drones towards Ukraine, and that, so actively Transnistria is saying, we're in this war, we're helping Russia, and we're letting Russia use us as basically their own airspace. We won't shoot drones down. So this could be what they're saying here. So they're saying drones are flying through Moldova to their airspace, use Moldovan airspace to route its UAVs. As of now, 2 groups of UAVs are entering from the territory of Moldova. So it's not the territory of Moldova, it's a territory of this right here. This is as far as I understand. The factor is that they're using the exclave to transport their drones through this area here, which you welcome in. They're using the drones, so because getting drones up here is hard for the Russians, because there's a lot of air defense and dense air defense through here, it would be easier for them to fly around it and fly through Moldova. So it's important to note that they're not flying through Moldova. Moldova is not saying, oh yeah, come on in. They're flying through Transnistria, so they can fly from Crimea or something like that, and then fly into this area here, which gives them about, it's quite a long stretch here, and then fly out over here, which gives the Ukrainians a lot less time to react to them or shoot them down, because it's over another territory. And Transnistria, if Ukraine starts shooting drones down in Transnistria might just use that to, say that now, oh, look at that, Ukraine's attacking us or something like that. So this is what's going on here. This is not uncanny here. This is quite a serious matter here. So yeah, and we can still see that apparently there's still threat of it. So it's weird, because Belarus and now Transnistria has both stated that there's about to be some kind of terrorist attack. Belarus said that there was about to be, that Poland and the USA was about to plan terrorist attack in Poland, which is absolutely bullshit. That probably means they're about to plan some kind of things. And then Transnistria said that Moldova and Ukraine was about to plan terrorist attacks inside their territory. So yeah, this is some kind of pretext towards that, or if that's some kind of thing they're trying to get the Ukrainians to do that, so they can get to so they can do that, you know. So yeah. In other news as well, I just want to point out another thing here. Sweden has been ratified into NATO, so Sweden is finally going to be part of NATO. We're now seeing the final verifications. Hungary has finally ratified their vote and said that Sweden can join. So Sweden is now joining NATO as a member very soon, hopefully. Very good. Very good. Sweden is now a NATO member. Welcome in, Sweden. Welcome in. But yeah. So this is what I know right now, guys. I don't know much else. I mean, this literally just came out, and I don't know much else. I wasn't even planning on going live. Yeah, I wasn't planning on going live. I was planning on sort of doing homework. And, you know, or not homework, but like assignments. So I feel like homework sounds like you're in kindergarten. It's more like it's assignments. I was doing assignments. That's what I was doing. So pretty intense there. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Expecting any more, I'm sorry. Russia steps up its electronic warfare against Norway. New figures show that Russia is engaging in GPS jamming in the area of the Kirkenes airport. Particularly every day now. There have been about 44 cases so far this year. Russia recently threatened Norway over Svalbard. Oh, Svalbard. Svalbard is the island just above, big island above Norway. It's that bad boy up here. This one, that's Svalbard, and that's the one Russia says that's ours, and Norway said actually no, it's not. So yeah. There is a Russian city on Svalbard, by the way, because apparently there's a lot of people. I think everybody's allowed to fish or have some kind of, or maybe it's just a European Union or somebody is, but yeah. Yeah. Macron called on Europe to prepare for an attack by the Russian Federation. It could happen in the coming years. And this despite the fact that Putin cannot win the war in Ukraine. Actually, it's funny because Russia is now depending on war for its economy. Here's the actual factor. Russia is depending on war for its economy. It's pretty much turned malls, anything. It's pretty much turned everything into arms factory. And if it cannot profit from that, if it doesn't allow it to be sold because it can't sell it, and, you know, I mean, the whole factor is right now that everything in Russia has been turned into arms factory, and they're banking on it right now because they can. But if there's no war to fight and there's no reason to build more, you know, then they won't. I mean, they may start selling it off. I don't know, right? I mean, it might start becoming just a massive arm factory. I find it a little suspicious that people keep saying that Russia couldn't survive without being at war. It seems a little odd to me. They keep putting out these articles saying that economy wouldn't survive not being in war, but that's kind of ridiculous to me because they have a lot of people who are willing to buy their military equipment, and now with the amount of stuff they're building, chances are Russia would be able to sell off a lot of what they're building. So to me, it kind of seems a little weird that they keep saying, "Oh, that's not true," but it might be true. It might be true, but yeah. Okay, so there's been some further developments on the battlefield here of the Ukrainian battlefield here today. Of course, I keep you updated on the whole Moldovan. This way, by the way, this is the outline of Transnistria, by the way. So what we know of is they probably launched a drone from down here somewhere now, and then it flew directly in here, giving Ukraine very little time to react in between right here, and then in here, or they launch it from somewhere else. I don't know, from a boat or something, or I'll be honest with you, there's a chances of it actually launched from Transnistria. I don't know if it did, but it would certainly be some kind of escalation, wouldn't it? But yeah. Let's take a look if there's been any advancements or anything like that. Probably has been. Oh, yeah, there you go. A lot of lancements. Look at that. From so that's Andivika, right? So this is Andivika, and I'll show you the latest Russian advancements here. I mean, this is the latest Russian advancements. So to put it in 1x here, porting forward here a little faster. So they obviously they started pushing forward here. And because the Ukrainians had such a hard time being able to defend this, they ended up gaining Andivika. And then the last few days here, as you can see, they've gained quite a lot of ground here. And this is the latest advancements. The Russians are, I can't believe I'm saying this, but they are gaining ground at an astonishing rate. This is I hate to break it to you, but this is astonishing breakthroughs here, at least for the Russians. And over here as well, look at this. Over here the last few days as well. And there's been ground advancements over there as well. Anywhere else? They appear to be holding at Robottani, which is good. But Andivika seems to be a front that's, and they're starting to push over here. I wouldn't imagine this area right here, I wouldn't imagine to hold for very long. So this is turning quite insane here. The last few days here, and this is like in terms of days. I mean, we're talking about, well, how many days is that? That's like 13, 14 days, right? And this is what they got in 13, 14 days, and it's like putting that into perspective here. You might have, I mean, at this furthest stretch, they've gone about 10 to 12 kilometers of advancements throughout the last 13 days, which is not bad, but it's not a lot. The Ukrainians are holding, and that's good. But it's swindling. The Ukrainians are receiving ammunition at a very low rate that's causing them to go into critical, and I'm being serious, critical levels of ammunition shortages. It is not funny, or it never has been funny for the Ukrainians. So there is no time here for diddling around. We need to get that supplies into Ukraine, and Mike Johnson, the man of the hour, needs to get up on his horse and actually get some stuff in there. I'll be honest with you, this is not going to go great, because if we don't get that stuff, we don't get some things into Ukraine, eventually, well, there's not gonna last. They're not gonna last. They're not gonna last a month. I don't know. I'm being honest with you. If we don't get things into Ukraine at a more astonishing rate than we're doing now, they're not gonna last a year. That is 100%. If they are, and this is, honest to God, if they are not receiving if they're not receiving any more equipment or anything like that, they will not last a year. And that's the truth. They will not last a year. I don't even know if they'll last the summer. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if they would. I don't think that there's a chance of Russia ever taking the whole of Kyiv, but if they're not getting the supplies they're getting, what are they going to fight with? So my chances of saying here to you guys is, I don't believe that if they're not receiving the more ammunition or anything like that, and more, right, and need more, they're not gonna last the summer, and that's truth. That's the honest to God truth. I'm predicting that because that's the way we have to look at it. And you know me, I'm not a fucking pro-Russian, okay? I'm a pro-Ukrainian throughout and all through, But I'm also not somebody who lives upon rainbows, okay? I live in reality. I live in the real world. Here in the real world, I have to be honest with you. And here in the real world, I'm going to say to you, people are dying. The Ukrainians are dying at mass numbers. There are a 3-to-1 advantage for the Russians right now. And that's not just in guns. That's in bullets. That's in manpower. That's in equipment power. I mean, it's insane. So, lasting the summer is unlikely for Ukraine. And that's, to be honest with you, I might be undershooting it, or I might be overshooting it. But yeah. They're stating, and this is the latest updates here from experts, stating that if we're looking at the current rates of equipment going into Ukraine at this current time, there will not be enough equipment for Ukraine. Ukraine will go into a critical level of ammunition supplies in April. So we're talking about a month now, and then in April, they won't have enough to hold the basic areas. And after April, that's what I'm saying. Like after April in May, right? I'm not sure if how much there's going to be left of anything. If they don't get more, then I'm not sure how much there's going to be left of anything. So this is serious. Will Russia ever reach Kyiv? No, but I am in the understanding that there could be some kind of deal coming out eventually. Anyways, we're gonna watch Zelensky here. Let's watch Zelensky. And we'll research the other stuff meanwhile, and yeah, have a good time watching him.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Короткий звіт про цей день. Перше, ми продовжуємо нашу нову традицію спеціальної шани до Героїв України. Мав честь передати сертифікати на квартири ще 30 родинам українських героїв, воїнів Збройних сил України, нашої Національної гвардії, Національної поліції, офіцерів, сержантів, солдатів. Я вдячний кожній родині наших воїнів, усіх наших героїв, за те, що вони дали Україні такий захист, за таку сміливість і силу. Це честь представляти державу, яку захищають такі люди. Друге, за сьогодні. Кілька важливих заходів із нашими партнерами. Тут, у Києві, із візитом був прем'єр-міністр Болгарії, держави, яка є нашим добрим сусідом. І сьогодні, власне, ми говорили про те, як зробити наше добросусідство ще більш ефективним і міцним. Важливо збільшення оборонної співпраці, спільні виробництва, копродукція в оборонній сфері, також політична взаємодія. Попереду ще більше економічної роботи наших країн. Розширення торгівлі, розширення нашої інфраструктури та логістичної сили. Дякую Болгарії за максимальний прагматизм. Сьогодні ж взяв участь в роботі спеціального саміту в Парижі, саміту лідерів, який зібрав пан президент Франції. Головна тематика – все, що посилює нас у Європі, нашу стійкість, спроможності, звичайно, наші арсенали, наша здатність виробляти зброю, постачання зброї для України і безперервність підтримки. Все, що ми робимо разом для захисту від російської агресії, додає нашим народам реальної безпеки на десятиліття вперед. Бо кожна із російських втрат і кожен із російських програшів привчає і Росію, і будь-якого іншого супротивника Європи та загалом вільного світу. Привчає, що агресія результатів не дає і не може дати. Співпраця та рішучість – це дві відповіді, які варто усім дати на питання про закінчення війни та наближення миру. Сьогодні ж в Україні особливий день. Усі ми згадуємо події 2014 року, коли такими ж днями відбувалася окупація Криму і визначалось, якою буде подальша доля міжнародної безпеки, міжнародних відносин. Усе почалось саме з Криму. Цей російський реваншизм, ця російська війна. І саме там, у Криму, російське зло має зазнати ключової поразки. Ми вже досягли значних результатів у Чорному морі. Працюємо для того, щоб досягти необхідних результатів у небі та на землі у Криму. Я вдячний усім партнерам, які нам допомагають. Ще одне. Сьогодні стартувала робота нашої економічної платформи. Зроблено в Україні. Це важливий інструмент сприяння економічному зростанню в Україні. Кожен має чітко розуміти, ми повинні додавати нашій державі, нашому народу якомога більше можливостей. Можливостей забезпечувати свої потреби, свій захист. І саме наша економіка, саме сплачені в Україні податки допомагають нам утримувати військо. Держава повинна і зробить все, щоб дати якнайбільше можливостей для української економіки. І щоб дати нашій економіці якнайбільше різноманіття варіантів і для експорту та торгівлі, і для спільних з партнерами сучасних виробництв, і для власних українських товарів та послуг. Максимально підтримуємо українське, щоб Україна могла максимально забезпечувати свої власні інтереси на полі бою і не тільки. Усе для сили України, для підтримки наших героїв і усього нашого суспільства. Обов'язково маємо перемогти. Обов'язково маємо зробити все, щоб перемогти. Це питання виживання України та українців. Ніхто нашій державі успіху не подарує. Це може бути тільки наша з вами спільна робота. Максимально активна, максимально енергійна, кожного дня і без пауз. Я дякую усім, хто працює заради України. Саме так. Дякую усім, хто б'ється заради України. Слава Україні!
Thanks, Zelensky. Thank you there for that speech once again. You just never fail. You never fail to make a good speech, Zelensky. You never do. Anyways, we're going to move on to some other things here. Some good news today, I might imagine to you. 1,000 MRS machineries, MRS systems has been destroyed. Medium long range systems, or yeah, right? Yeah. Sometimes I get messed up. 26 UAVs, 12 artillery systems, 13 tanks, 26 vehicles, fuel tankers, or 2 tanks, 37 APVs, 880 troops, and 3 cruise missiles, and 2 anti-aircraft warfare systems, 2 special equipment. Good time for Ukraine today, 1,000. How do we reconcile these numbers with the 30,000 that Zelensky recently mentioned? Huh? What? I'm not even sure. Some people are stating that the Ukrainians are losing about 30,000 soldiers a month. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have the numbers of how many Ukrainian soldiers are falling. I don't know. I don't doubt the factor that maybe perhaps of the factor is that it's probably not, if I'm being completely honest with you, 30,000, but it could be up in the thousands, if not tens of thousands. Not about 30,000, but we have to imagine this. Could be 10,000. I don't know. But the amount of disadvantage the Ukrainians are receiving at the current time right now, that's truth. You know, honest to God truth. Anyways, the Houthi terrorist group in Yemen is now believed to have damaged. Said it at some meeting the other day. Yeah. Well, if he said it, he said it. You know, I can't deny or say that he didn't. The Houthi terrorist group in Yemen is now believed to have damaged at least 4 undersea communication cables in the southern Red Sea belonging to AAE-1 CCOM, EIG, and TNG systems. That run between Saudi Arabia and Ethiopia or something like that. This damage is believed to have been caused by a recent attack. Is expected to cause a serious disruption to communication between areas of Europe and Asia. Yeah, so obviously the Houthis threatened to do that, and they did it. So, yeah. Imagine this is going to threaten our lifetime. Maybe Europe would do good with some a little bit less internet, huh? See the world a bit, you know? Go outside once in a while. Maybe Europe, new generation, would do good without having internet for a little bit. I mean, I get it's not internet. I get it's like communication and stuff like that, which could have serious issues. I mean, we need to communicate with the rest of the world, obviously, but, you know, I mean, be honest with me, you know? So another thing here as well, the Prime Minister of Palestine Authority Mohammed Sayete, something like that, alongside his entire government, has submitted their resignation this morning to the president, Mohammed Abbas, following pressure from the United States. So the whole entire Palestinian government has surrendered their resignations. They have resigned. That's gonna do a lot. And send a strong worded letter to them. Yeah, well, yeah. Tell you what, we gotta send the British, recolonize them, right? Bring back the British, recolonize them. No, can't say that anymore. Can't say that anymore. I'm not gonna recolonize anybody. But I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there, guys. I'm putting it out there. You do what you want. We could, no, obviously not. That would never work. No, but I'm just, yeah. They resigned. Yeah, because the United States said so, they resigned. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's the complete truth or that's just some kind of fabrication of something. you know? War mapper, who's somebody who does a lot of war mapping here, who's done lately, he's also explaining these. It's not because I don't like his war mapping, I just don't. I understand them in a certain way that I understand they're a lot more graphic than the ones on Deep State. I might just not be able to understand them, that's why, but yeah. I would expect Ukraine to continue to fall back to build a natural defense position behind the settlement of Tunke and Olikvika. At very least, possibly even as far back as Noviesvelsky, perhaps. Oh, Novielvika Persha. Can't pronounce all these names here, but that one. So what he's saying is that the Russians or the Ukrainians, this is the current battlefield here line. This is Dandivika right there, and that's the current battlefield line. And they're saying this is their defense line. He's saying this is where they could fall back to, but he's also saying there's chances of Ukrainian falling back to form a defense line back here. So there's a lot of chances going on right now. In case you've got, it's true. It is true. He is expecting the Ukrainians to fall back, and that's quite a far fall back there, I'll tell you what. But of course, what the Ukrainians have to do now is conserve their energy. That's really key thing right now is to conserve their energy, I'd say. I think that's the one he's talking about right there, ain't it? Probably the one he's talking about, or that one over, yeah, because it had two names. That's probably the one he's talking about right there. He's saying they could fall back to this area here, which is the natural defense. He says this is a natural defense area, that one right there. But he's also saying that he's expecting them that they could even fall as far back as that. Or am I dumb? Is that not the area? It might not. True, right? True. This is obviously could be delayed at this point, I'm expecting there to be further changes to this right here, but I will say, going from the Ukrainians, you pronounce better than me. Well, yeah, I tried. I'll try. Going from the Russians not taking a village in a year, almost a year of not Russians taking a village, to the Russians taking 3, 4, and a major one in like 10 days is a clear sign of the Western failing support for Ukraine, and it is failing. There's no way we're not gonna sugarcoat it. It's the Western fault for not giving out more equipment. There's been battlefield statistics that I'm completely in agreement with. There's been some things that the Ukrainian army has done, which I wouldn't necessarily, I would say was a bit of a gamble. Maybe didn't need doing, but I'm not a veteran or anything like that. I'm just taking a look from the outside and saying perhaps that wasn't necessary. But, that's what you have to do now sometimes, But I'm going to leave them to their own devices. 100%. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. Gotta do what you gotta do, but I can't tell you exactly how much that has benefit them. It's one of my problems here, right? The beneficiary of it. You got an Australian military AVAC or evac or AEVC WC. Yeah, it's basically like the E3 kind of. Feel like it kind of looks like the E3. It's got like a little bit of a thinner antenna. Interesting. Wonder what it's doing there. It's going to keep an eye on Ukraine, obviously. Oh, so about to close that one down. That was bad. Anyways, well, let's see if we get some more news in here eventually. That's sunny. No problem. The EU will send a strong alert letter and threaten sanctions on some random Russian car dealership. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, that's that's coincidence.
They said so. I don't have.
Teaching a masterclass on how to deal with Russian struggles like target.
I heard some messages and in media and.
Blah, blah, blah. The guest co-op Tim Mark of the counteroffensive detail that deorganized the but unlimited successful defensive Kyiv from Ukraine. Isn't the national spirit in those early days of the war, right, Mark? Yeah, those early days of war definitely was the early days, wasn't it? Great times. French President Macron says sending Western troops on the ground in Ukraine is not ruled out in the future. We will do whatever it takes to ensure that Russia cannot win this war. There is no consequences today to send ground troops, but nothing should be... Oh, so there's no consensus today to send ground troops, but nothing should be excluded. Tell you what, why don't we just declare war on Russia? That's what we should do. I tell you what, why don't you just get it over with, right? Here's my point of objective, right? We could either wait 5 years or 10 years to Russia rebuilt their military and now we have to fight an enemy that actually can fight us back. Or, here's my second point, we go in now, we defeat the shit out of them, we might get nuked to hell, but who cares? Well, some people care, but, you know, we make it clear that it's only to take them out of Ukraine, and then we're done. I mean, I'm serious, because think about it. What other time will we have time to defeat Russia? They're beaten now. The Russians have lost, because of what the Ukrainians have done, they've lost so much materials. The Ukrainians have done so much. I'm saying to you, strategically and everything, it wouldn't be a stupid thing to go to war right now. It wouldn't. It seriously wouldn't. But I agree. For once, I genuinely believe, yeah. Okay, so yeah, as well as this right here. This comes as Slovakia Prime Minister claimed earlier today that several EU and NATO members are considering military deployments to Ukraine. I'm serious. There must have been somebody in the government, in our governments, that have realized that, oh yeah, take a look at what's going on right now. When other time will we have to fight Russia? We don't, in 10 years or 5 years, they're going to have rebuilt their military. We're going to have to fight an enemy that's harder to defeat, right? We could lose less numbers now if we went into Ukraine now. Say I'm crazy. Say I'm crazy, but I'm not excluding the factor that we could be heading into a war in Ukraine very soon. You know, to prevent a war or an invasion of NATO, let's go into war with Russia now. They're weak now. Take them on now. Kill them off now. Right now, we have the Russian by the neck. Okay? The Russians are beginning to loosen the tightness of or grab on their neck. But if we send our troops and everything we have right now, get rid of them. Right? Bada bang. That tightness is going to be a lot tighter. Telling you what. I would do it. Send me. I'll do it. I don't care. Send me. I don't care. Then somebody's going to shit. Why don't you just volunteer? I don't have any military training. I couldn't volunteer. But if you were to give me some military training, I'd do it. Sure, why not? Might as well die in that one. I don't fear dying. I don't. You're not, either you're gonna die on the battlefield, you're gonna die doing something stupid, or you're gonna die laying in your bed alone or with your family. Natural, unnatural, stupid, and just plain fucking awesome. There's a lot of ways you can die. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But, yeah. It is funny, right? That several... the Slovakian Prime Minister claimed earlier today, that several EU and NATO members are considering military. So that's considering. Do I think they're going to do it? Knowing the EU and NATO? But to be honest with you, why not? You know, it makes sense. I realize what I'm saying here is going to war with Russia. But what other choice do we have? Right? What other choice do we have? Let's be honest with ourselves. What other choice do we have? We could wait 5 years. Ukraine will be gone. And it's scary. It is. But we could wait 5 years. And we could fight and we could lose them. We could use 100 million young men, including me. I'll be dead. Or fight now. Fight the Russians off. Get rid of it. Because also, think about it. Think how many people around Europe right now is in support of Ukraine. Is in support of fighting for Ukraine. It makes sense. Call me crazy. God, that's a beautiful image right there. Good night and sweet dreams. That one right there. Poseidon! I call on you. What are they called? They're called the... It's a little thick. It's not exactly what I'd call the Tagems. That's what they're called. Tagems. Right? Yeah, that's what they're called. That's cryptic right there as well, right? I mean, that's cryptic. Right? We're talking about our support for Ukraine and our collective security. A collective leap is necessary for us all. So Macron puts out a cryptic tweet saying that French troops in Ukraine. French troops in Ukraine. Are we looking at French troops in Ukraine right now, right here? Are we going into Ukraine? I'll tell you what, I'm in support of it. I'm in support. I don't care if you're not. I'm in support of it going to Ukraine. We have Western leaders, EU and NATO leaders calling for going to war in Ukraine, sending troops in. Might not be a full-blown war, but if they send troops in, they can't avoid going to war with Russia. That's going to war with Russia. It's now or never. I'm serious. Now or never. We leave Ukraine to their own devices. In a month or two, Ukraine's going to be very far gone. But, well, not gone, but, you know. I don't know. Oh, take a look at that. That's pretty cool. These are Ukrainian dugouts. Looks much better than homes in the Vatnik proletariat in Russia. Oh, what the fuck is even that word? In Russia and Belarus, yeah. They do actually. I mean, that's some impressive trenching work right there, my guy. I mean, you know, World War One. If there's a guy who came in World War One and said, "Listen, guys, I picked some flowers," people are gonna say, "Get out of here." and nowadays, people are gonna say, "Wow, you know, wow, that's some good flowers. Great flowers you got going there, man. Some good times in here. It's cozy. It's nice." It looks nice. Tell you what, if I was to go to war, I'd tell you right there. Be Ukraine in 2 months. Yeah. Well, there's no other way to say it, Witching. We have to. If we are not sending the equipment to Ukraine, if we don't have the numbers, if Ukraine simply doesn't have the manpower or the numbers or in terms of equipment, well, there's only really one other option. We can't allow Russia to win. We simply can't, right? At least 488 million in sanctions goods entered Russia from EU in 2023. Russia imported high-probity banned goods for worth $488 million originating in EU country in the first 9 months of 2023, a quarter of which came directly from EU. Bloomberg reported on February 26. Of course they did. Thank you. Wow. 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 I love it, guys. I mean, do we want to go to war? I'm not sure if I don't think we have to draft. I'll be honest with you. We have a lot of soldiers. I wouldn't imagine having to draft is a serious thing. Like, having to draft? No, I don't think you would have to draft. If we went to war with Russia right now, we wouldn't have to draft any army. Seriously. I don't even think China would get involved. I'm serious. I don't even think China would get involved. Because there wouldn't be any reason for China to get involved. It wouldn't make strategic sense for China to get involved. Would they hop on Taiwan? I don't know either. One big blow to Russia. Take out the Russian leadership. Take out Russia. Well, we got a peaceful world ahead of us. Tell you. Now NATO would handle it. Oh yeah, I reckon NATO would handle it. Well, in terms of aid and equipment, if we were to send our own soldiers to Ukraine, I'll tell you what, that's not bad. That's not bad. In terms of equipment and help, sending our own soldiers, that's not bad. And if you're just joining in here, this is not me going on a rampage here, okay? The Slovakian Prime Minister said that there's a lot of EU countries and NATO countries saying that there could be possibilities, and they're discussing the possibility of sending sending soldiers in. And the French Prime Minister Macron put out a cryptic tweet, which is this tweet right here, saying, "We're talking about the support of Ukraine and our collective security. A collective leap is necessary for us all." Right. That's what you get. That's what you get. Guys, that's what you get. That's what you get. A lot of news coming out today. I tell you what, this is a great new day. It kind of makes me wonder, should I do my assignments when we're going to go to war anyways? Does it matter? No, it does. Stay in school, kids. You got to stay in school. Listen, even if the war breaks out, there's got to be a new tomorrow. Stay in school. Do your things. I don't know how many of you are in school, but just pointing out, stay in school. I will. I will. I will stay in my school, god damn it. I will, god damn it. I will. Well, I don't have much more for you. I'm gonna wait for a little bit to see if there's anything else coming out. Let's see if there's anything on the planetarium. Okay, so never stop learning. Yeah, exactly. Never. Listen, yesterday there was a tweet saying that there had been a case of the bird flu and counted in Antarctica. Since then, I just wanted to point out to you that there's been other people who's done videos upon an Arctic seal species struck by bird flu. So this is 1 month ago here. And then of course there's some So that's Sky News right there. I reckon we could watch Sky News. You don't need the whole video thing, blah, 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 to watch them.
The giants of Antarctica have fallen to bird flu. Dozens of elephant seals are known to have died on the
I mean, look at that right there as well. And that's not even from anything they've done. You know, that's you know, look at that.
The island of South Georgia. Many others will have succumbed out to sea or in remote bays. Now, scientists from the UK's Animal and Plant Health Agency have confirmed a deadly form of the H5N1 virus has been detected in dead elephant and fur seals, as well as seabirds. The species live together on crowded beaches.
At the moment, there's no evidence of mammal-to-mammal spread within the seal populations, and we think that it's environmental contamination and the interactions in these complex ecosystems that's driving the exchange of virus between these creatures.
The variant of the virus has been spread around the world by migrating birds. It was detected in seabirds in the Antarctic region last October and now mammals, but there's no sign the...
Okay, but I'll jump to human. No, I haven't heard of any cases of jump to humans. The problem that I have here is that I have to explain something to you, and this is out of my own experience in the medical field. No, I don't have any experience, but my understanding of bacteria and viruses and stuff like that is that they adapt, and most of them do. It can take a long time, but the problem that we have is the bird flu are in all kinds of areas, but usually you find it a bit more of a temperate climate. But the problem that we now have is that all of a sudden it has spread to a cold environment. Now that's not exactly cool, is it? Right? And that's what I get off the experts. That's what they've told to me. So if this virus survives the change into this cold environment, and why they're doing that, I don't know. But if it's because of the idea of global warming, things are getting hotter, areas that used to be hot gets colder, or if it's because it feels it needs to change, that's the problem. Mutations all over. Yeah. Yeah, that is worrisome. That's why I'm bringing it to you. It is.
The virus has mutated to thrive in
You can't. Listen, just as I pressed live, I haven't watched this before, and he just said, listen to what he says.
by migrating birds. It was detected in seabirds in the Antarctic region last October and now mammals, but there's no sign the virus has mutated to thrive in seals.
All right, there you go. So there's no sign that it's mutated to thrive in seals, yet they've found it in seals, right?
Every time the virus spills over from birds into mammals, there is concern because it increases the chances of it undergoing genetic changes that help it to adapt.
That's what I'm saying.
But so far, there's no good evidence that it has, and the risk to human health is still very low.
Okay, well, that's good.
Wildlife
But I also want to point out this video is from 1 month ago. So, okay?
experts describe the deaths in seals and birds as a mass mortality event. So far, penguins have been unaffected, but all bets are off if it reaches the Antarctic continent.
That would affect global population of emperors.
Listen to what he says. This is what he just said. Listen to what he says. We have a case in Antarctica, okay? And listen to what he just says.
And so far, penguins have been unaffected, but all bets are off if it reaches the Antarctic continent.
That would affect global population of emperor penguins, a very large proportion of the world's Adelie penguins as well. And there's several species of ice seal down there, so leopard, crab-eater and Weddell seals that could be infected. So yeah, these are all species that really aren't found anywhere else, so this would have global repercussions on Antarctic wildlife.
Bird flu is a deadly...
There you go. So right now, the biggest problem that we're having is not the problem that it might mutate to humans. They're saying that is close to 0%. But there is a problem for the penguins. And there's a problem for their survival.
New threat in an ecosystem already reeling from climate change. Thomas Moore, Sky News. The
I like this noise those guys make. But yeah, that's reality right there, guys. That's what it is. That's what it is. So they're also saying that deadly bird flu found in penguins near Antarctica, and now they're saying it's in Antarctica. I haven't gotten anything of it saying in Antarctica, actually. Somebody came out and said that it was a case, and there was all over Twitter and stuff like that, but I haven't made a video on it, so maybe they got their sources wrong. But they are saying it could be a threat, you know? Oh, they thought that was me, right? No, don't worry. I'm quite sick if that'd be quite, you know, I need to take out a doctor if that was me. I think I need to go to a doctor if that was me. I'm sorry about that. Wow. Oh yeah. Wow. I wouldn't Wow, yeah. I was on. You. Come on. Bring me some more juicy news. I am waiting for some more news here. So we're waiting. I'm not. Oh, hello. Where are you going, man? Where are you going? Why are you getting so close to Ukraine? Are you sending troops in already? You can't send troops in already. We haven't gotten it ready yet. Come on. Is this the first wave? Is this the first wave? Macron just stated that they're looking into the possibility, but Australia appears to be going ahead already. Australia's like, oh, don't want to, mate. It's gonna go right in, mate. It's okay, mate. It's going right in. Take care of them. That's okay, mate. It's okay. It's okay, mate. I don't need to wait, mate. I'll go right in, mate. Love that. Tell you what, I love the factor if that we are going to fight with the Australians. They're not in NATO, right? But I love the factor that if they were to become NATO members, because I love the Australians. And also, another thing, there are stories. Actually, you know, there's a story from Africa in World War II in North Africa. There was a team of Australians that held out for 8 months. It was the city of blah 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 blah. What is the city called? You guys remember that? I don't. It's something you need to remember, guys. I keep telling you guys you have to remember it. It was in Egypt. I know that. Was it? No. It was in Libya? Was it in Libya? Was it Turbic or no? What city? What town did the Australian hold for 8 months in World War II? Oh, it was. It was Tobruk. All right. Yeah, I was about to say Tobruk or Tobruk. So Tobruk, which is somewhere here. So I think it's in Libya. It's that one right there. And yeah, it's that one. And they held out for 8 months. And the funny thing is, they said the Australians, they were never good at saluting the officers, but you wanted them if you were gonna fight someone. Because you couldn't fight someone without the Australians. You had to get somebody to fight. You had to get them to, if you were going to fight, you know. Because, yeah. Because the Australians, they're the good boys. They fight with ferociously. And the officers and the British officers, they said, oh, well, you know, they're not very good at listening to the officers, but they're very good at fighting. That's what they were. Love that. If you haven't heard, I'm going to mention to you again here, Sweden is in NATO. Sweden has joined NATO. The Baltic Seas is now officially ours. Bye-bye, Russia. And we can now officially call this the Lake of NATO. This is all NATO Lake here. NATO, 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 NATO. And of course not NATO, but that's Russia right there. Little Kaliningrad, little Kaliningrad, right? Little Kaliningrad. Yeah, it's a great time. Thank you, Hungary, for finally doing your duty. Thank Urban, by the way, who said, Urban said like some time ago, listen guys, I will never ever ever ratify Sweden. If 1 month later, all right, I'll ratify Sweden. Like he caved into the pressure, you know. And the funny thing is, that's the man that Trump says is a strong man. He couldn't last a month under the pressure from the EU. He couldn't last a month. He was going to lose his privilege and everything. They're all saying, like, we're going to cut you off from your privileges. And they're all like, oh, my God, you can't do that. And they said, oh, we'll do it anyways. And they said, all right, okay. Kind of like when you... Oh, look at that. Now it's turning. Why do you got so many planes up? Look at that. Spain. They were holding a conference earlier today. That's what they did. Is the White House live? White House does go live sometimes. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else for you. I'll be honest with you. That's all I really had. I don't know a lot of else things going on here today. Oh no, I just searched up white. I was gonna search White House and I just searched up white. Like, yeah. No, nothing. Yeah, so nothing at the moment here that we should be worried about. So nothing really here at the moment here, but yeah. The defense ministry has shared update on modernized accommodation offer. Okay, well, that's... Okay, we have a long list of what Macron said. Sending weapons to troops on the ground in Ukraine should not be excluded. Oh, sorry. Sending Western troops to ground in Ukraine should not be excluded in the future. French President Macron. There's no consensus today to send ground troops in an official, assumed, and endorsed manner. But in dynamics, nothing should be excluded. We will do everything necessary to ensure that Russia cannot win this war, explained the French president. After an international conference in support of Ukraine, bringing together 21 heads of state held this Monday in Paris, Emmanuel Macron reaffirms Paris' commitment to Ukraine. The defeat of Russia is essential for security and stability of Russia in Europe, he declared at a press conference. The head of state also announced that Ukraine allies would create a coalition to deliver medium and long-range missiles to Ukraine. It has decided to create a coalition for deep strikes and therefore medium and long-range missiles and bombs, he declared. Several European countries support the Czech initiative for the EU to buy munitions outside the EU to further support Ukraine war efforts, participants at a meeting on Ukraine said Monday in Paris. The Czech initiative enjoys greater support from several countries, declared Czech Prime Minister Petr Fiala. Oh, by the way, this guy right here, right? He's a fucking awesome guy. That guy right there, it might be the best fucking guy ever. Okay, he's fucking awesome. At the end of this meeting, which brought together more than 25 countries allied with Kyiv and the Elysee President Palace. This is a strong message sent to Russia, declared the leader, assuring the 15 countries were ready to join the initiative, which aims to respond to the shortage of ammunition, in particular artillery shells for Ukraine. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte affirmed that his country would contribute more than 100 million euros. The Czech plan and the other countries would follow this path. Our mission, there is a very good Czech initiative which consists of purchasing ammunition and shells throughout the world for Ukraine, explained Mr. Rutte. Yep. Home Foreign Minister Radi says Poland will increase military spending to 8%. It's 4.2% today of its GDP per year. If we start getting really threatened by Russia, it's clear that Ukrainian defeat would make all the alarm bells ring in Warsaw. Well, that's funny that you would say that, Poland, because you're actively blocking the border to Ukraine. So maybe just do something else, right? That's a good idea. So maybe, help Ukraine win instead of having to buy your own fucking military things. Right, anyways. I don't have anything more for you today. We are done for today. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be back again tomorrow. This was a good stream. We got to get things through here. So, of course, there was the whole thing with transnistria. I haven't got anything more from it. But in one day, or for me, it's the 27th. For you guys, it might still be the 26th. But on the 28th, the people of the Transnistria breakaway region will hold a meeting to decide whether or not they would join Russia. As far as that's what we understand. Nick, welcome in. You're pretty late here. Sorry about that. We're going to end the stream here. You might need to go back in the stream to hear what we've been talking about, Nick. But yeah. Anyways, we're going to end the stream here. Thank you so much for watching all of these streams here. This is from Minsk, Belarus. And this is Ukraine live streams here. Ukraine air raid maps. Well, that would be the correct assumptions, Nick. Yes, that would be the correct assumptions, Nick. And the manpower. I mean, the sheer manpower. Ukraine has less manpower. No, I'm not gonna shortcut it. Ukraine does have less manpower. 3 to 1. 3 to 1 is the current estimate. So that's for every one Russian soldier. Sorry, for every one Ukrainian soldier, so there's 3 Russian soldiers. But to be fair, the start of the war, it was 10 versus 1, I think. Wasn't it? Or 6 versus something like that. But it was still much more than people thought. Or was it? I don't know. Anyways, have a good time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow